One more time for the greatest team in America.
So in 1990, we're coming off of, what at the time was the first 15-0 season in the history of college football. And we get to 1990 and things did not start the way Georgia Southern would expect them to start. Of course, we're recovering from the fact that Coach Russell retired. But the cool thing was we had a really strong core group of guys back.
Coming off of '89, obviously, Coach Russell used to say, I remember we played Florida State, you can't just throw your helmet out there and expect to win, right? That was symbolic of probably going into 1990. Now, we played some good ball teams, right? But we didn't play up to our level. Coach Stowers had been here, but you had some other new coaches together, and everybody hadn't gotten on the same page yet.
Obviously, Coach Stowers was absolutely the right guy for that role, and the guy that needed to carry the program forward at that time. I can't remember who we were playing. It might have been Eastern Kentucky. We lost a game here. We're 1-3, and I mean, I felt like my best dog just died because we didn't lose here. It had become almost folklore, really, because of how good we really were here at Paulson Stadium.
I've lost more games in this season than I've lost in the last 2 years, so I'm not accustomed to losing, and I'm gonna do everything that I can, counsel that program.
We got together and called a team meeting without the coaches. A lot of new people, a lot of new faces, a lot of new coach faces that really didn't get what we were about, and they had to learn just like we had to learn them.
Everybody's pointing fingers at everybody. Why are we not getting it done? Why are we not doing this and all that? Say, look, guys, we got to get this together. We're 1-3.
We're not playing for the coaches. We're playing for this program. We're playing for each other. And we sat down and had that conversation and as a team and came out and turned it around the rest of the season.
That's where the saying, and it's on the side of the national championship ring, the last of the hard. That's where that started around here. And it started kind of with this, okay, we've pretty much hit rock bottom at this point by our standard. We're 1-3 and we've lost a game at home. We're not losing again.
Not only did the seniors step up, and I think this is probably a missed piece in that history, it was the underclassmen, sophomores, the juniors. Those guys stepped up and held the seniors to a level too. Danny Smith, offensive lineman, he was just as in the leadership role as any of the seniors were. So those guys got together and got everybody together, said, hey, we're not on the right page here. We're not going down the right path. Got behind, and I think it was the Marshall game, and came from behind and won that ball game, and then didn't lose another one.
Marshall, we had to go to Marshall that year. That was an absolute dogfight. I believe we had to win that game in the fourth quarter with a drive that was, anybody that says you can't come from behind and win a football game with a triple option needs to watch that game.
Well, one thing about Raymond, he had a lot of confidence, and a lot of people call it cockiness, call it what you want, a little bit of both. But for you to have that at quarterback, you got to be able to play well, and he able to do it. He had confidence that he can get the job done, and he was able to do it. And we all just rallied around each other and had a lot of fun in doing it.
Oh yeah, baby, we're going back. We're coming right back here next week. Statesboro, Georgia, baby. We're gonna do it again. Oh, yeah, Georgia Southern 44. Draw the circles, man. We get to play for all the marbles.
Not bad for your first year.
No, it's not bad. I really didn't do anything except try to go for 4th and 1.
I tell people all the time, it didn't really matter who was coaching us at the time. We were going to get back to the national championship game and win it. Coach Stowers did a great job in rallying the troops and letting us do our things. Being back in Paulson, again, nobody expected us to do it but us. It's always in the back of people's minds when you have a situation where there's a team that has a lot of players coming back, but we lost some key players as well. So we had to fill some gaps, but we knew we had the talent to get back and win the championship game and then get in there. And it was a battle, and we fought hard and won the ball game.
It was a great feeling. I mean, to me, that was better than '89 and going undefeated because of what we went through the beginning of the year. It was post Coach Russell. He was standing on the sideline back by Santa Claus, of course.
I'll tell you, for the last decade, in December in Statesboro, Georgia, these two have been the two most popular people here. Burke, Russell, and Santa Claus.
I can just remember, Nevada saying we're not the caliber team that they're used to playing. They were not going to have a problem with us. And, okay, wait till y'all get here. You'll see.
4 it is with the slot formation to the right. Sorrell and Belser. But they pitch it to Ross. First down, Georgia Southern and more. Touchdown. Third down, 8 to go, and Gatlin again is sacked. Tim Brown this time. Third sack of the first half for Georgia. 2nd and 9. Looking long, going long. The man is out there, and it's caught inside of the 10 by Terrence Sorrell. Goes for the long ball. Ortega's out there, and batted away by Oglesby. Gets him inside the 10. From there, Gross keeps. Gross scores. Touchdown. Georgia Southern.
Tell me what you remember about your 2 touchdowns at night.
Well, the first one, Raymond could have scored himself, and he pitched it to me. So, and both of us walked in. He could have walked in. I could have walked in because they had stopped us on the goal line stands previous quarter, and we ran the same play 3 plays in a row, or 4 plays in a row, and they stopped it. So we came back and we faked that play, and I spun around and became the option back instead of the lead blocker out of the power I formation. The cornerback was crashing down trying to get to Joe, thinking he was getting the handoff, and Raymond just went around him. That was a pitch guy. He should pitch off of him. And he just went around him and got in a couple steps and just pitched it to me. I just walked in. It was that simple. Probably the hardest hit I got in the whole game was when I got to the sideline, the fence at the end of the end zone, the fans started smacking me upside the head. So then once I got away from them, the team came over and pushed me back into them, and they was doing it again. So it was, oh man, it was a lot of fun. And then the second one, it was one of them late pitches downfield. Raymond was good at. The pitch guy that he's supposed to pitch off of came to me, and I went around him, and then when he got to the next guy, he just pitched it off, and I was able to get around the corner, and Grip out there had a good block and just dove into the end zone.
2nd and 10, Nevada. From their 10-yard line, Vargas is straight back to throw. Zips, and it is intercepted! Alex Mann, touchdown!
Yeah, I mean, Alex, what I remember about him the most is that he was extremely athletic. He probably could have played linebacker as well. I mean, he could run, he was tough, he was physical, he was strong, and that was a big time play. At that point, I think it just kind of expanded the lead. I think the game was kind of won, but it made it look a little worse than it actually was.
Batten down the hatches, boys. Here they come. The goalpost is already down with 44 seconds left. It's the same goalpost that came down in a hurry last year. Oh, mercy. Look at the goalpost. Hey, those babies aren't cheap either.
We have some very spoiled fans. They expect to win. And it's not, and at that point in time, it wasn't about a conference championship, like I said. It's about the national championship. And when you put those flags up on the poles and you're doing it at a regular basis, people become spoiled and accustomed to it.
Students have lined the field on the far end. Jack Harris. They count down the last 5 seconds as they stream on. Let's get down to Doc.
It was just great win. And it's still great to do it in town, at your home field. I mean, you can't beat that, to be here in front of the best fans in America.
We ran off 11 straight and won it again, and it was really special because it was sort of proof that you can stay hungry and not get content, and you can still remain focused on the ultimate goal even after you just had an undefeated season, which how do you top that? I mean, there's nothing else you can do to top that. And they just sort of took the mindset, which started many, many years in front of them, even before 1985, which was it's us against the world kind of mentality that Georgia Southern football was built on. And we sort of took that mentality that year and said, you know, let's go prove to everybody that we are the national champions, and this group is every bit as good as any other team that's won it here.
The mentality was always, you come to win a national championship, you come to play for a national championship. And when we did it, you look back on it and it's like, wow, we did it.
As the clock runs out, the fans go nuts as the Eagles capture their fourth championship in the last 6 years.
And you begin to appreciate it more at this point in your life than you do when you're there, because at that point you're pretty cocky in what you're doing, and as a football player and as a Georgia Southern football player is what you're expected to do. You know, Tracy and his crew set the precedent for us, and then we came behind them and did what nobody expected us to do, and we set the precedent for the next group. JR and AP and Greg and all those guys that came in behind us and did the same thing to a certain degree. So, you know, that's the tradition of Georgia Southern. That's what built the house, and that's what the foundation is upon.